Chosen one, you're the first in your bloodline in 1,000 years to rise, not run. They've dismissed you as restless, lonely, and out of place, hoping you'd settle for ordinary. But you weren't meant for the sidelines. You carry the pulse of an ancient prophecy waiting to awaken. You've felt the dissonance between your soul's calling and the world's expectations, and you've wondered if your dreams were delusions. You are not alone, and what you're about to discover will confirm that every struggle, every moment of doubt, has been setting the stage for your rise. Hidden ancestral codes are unlocking within you, revealing truths that will ignite your destiny. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with me, because by the end, your eyes will open to the power you were born to wield. The pulse of ancestral prophecy. You've felt it in the quiet moments when the world's noise fades and a deeper rhythm pulses within your chest. A tremor of destiny that refuses to be silenced. You've brushed it aside as sentiment or wishful thinking, convinced that your restless heart was merely longing for something beyond your reach. Yet in those moments when you allowed yourself to listen, you felt a stirring so intimate it shook the very core of your being. You are not alone in this experience of yearning for more than what appears on the surface. Many have felt these echoes, these ancestral drumbeats, calling them forward, only to be told they were chasing after shadows. Today, you will discover that those stirrings are no illusion, but the pulse of an ancient promise, coursing through your veins, waiting to ignite your purpose. Hidden truths about the heritage within you will come to light, confirming that the destiny you've sensed is not accidental. It is your inheritance. Comment pulse if you feel this awakening in your soul. And as that pulse quickens, the next revelation will show why your isolation was never a curse, but a sacred quarantine. You know the weight of solitude, how it presses on your spirit when no one else seems to hear the ancestral call within you. You've sat in crowded rooms feeling strangely alone, as if a barrier separated your heart from every conversation around you. In moments of confusion, you wondered if your sensitivity to spiritual signals was a flaw rather than a gift. You felt the sting of rejection, friends stepping away when you tried to share your deeper insights, mentors dismissing your gut instincts as unrealistic. Those experiences left you questioning whether your purpose was real or just a fantasy born of loneliness. The emotional toll was immense. Doubt clawed at your confidence, and the longing for belonging battled with the fear that you would always be an outsider. Yet even in that ache of separation, something remarkable was unfolding. You were being prepared to carry the pulse of your ancestors into fulfillment. Your journey through isolation and doubt was never random suffering, but part of a divine curriculum crafted by the one who seasons history. Think of the little-known account of the sons of Uriah in 1 Chronicles 9 verse 2. Descendants of the priestly lines scattered by exile, only to return generations later to restore Israel's worship and reconnect the people with their sacred heritage. Their service, once interrupted, became the spark that reignited the flame of communal devotion. In the same way, every moment you felt disconnected, your spirit was being shaped to rekindle an ancient rhythm in your generation. The urgency you feel, the tug toward destiny, is part of a tapestry woven before your birth, designed to awaken at the appointed time. Your solitude was a sacred quarantine, a refining space where the pulse of prophecy could form within you, undiluted by the world's expectations. Now, signs of transformation are beginning to emerge in your life, confirming that the ancestral beat within you is ready to resonate outward. You might notice that songs passed down in your family suddenly stir tears when you hear them, as though the voices of your forebears whisper through the melody. You find yourself drawn to traditions or symbols you didn't fully understand before, only to discover they carry deep significance for your journey. In conversations, you sense undercurrents of spiritual longing in others and speak words that light their hearts on fire. Without fully knowing why, opportunities that align with your hidden gifts appear unexpectedly. An invitation to speak, a commission to serve, a project that touches generations. These are the unmistakable tremors of an awakening power, proof that divine timing is orchestrating every synchronicity to prepare you for a greater purpose. Behind these emerging signs, unseen forces are at work, aligning your steps for a destiny far beyond your own making. Your challenges were never tests of endurance alone, but essential preparations for divine elevation. Consider the obscure prophetess Huldah in 2 Kings 22 verses 14 to 20, whose discovery of a lost scroll during King Josiah's reign triggered a revival that reshaped a nation's spiritual direction. Though her ministry was hidden, her obedience at a critical moment unlocked a nationwide transformation. In your own life, every season of quiet obedience, every act of faith in the shadows, has positioned you to become an agent of awakening. Synchronicities, chance encounters, timely guidance, mysteriously opened doors are the fingerprints of providence, confirming that the pulse stirring in you is real and that your calling is gathering momentum under divine supervision. At this moment, you may feel a tremor of hesitation, a whisper telling you to keep your gift small or to wait for clearer confirmation. Many resist stepping into the fullness of their awakening out of fear of the unknown, worried that embracing their destiny will expose them to scrutiny, failure, or isolation. Yet true alignment demands more than recognizing the signs. It requires wholehearted surrender to the process, embracing both the promise and the uncertainty it carries. Imagine a newborn bird that hesitates at the edge of the nest, afraid to spread its wings. The safety of the nest feels comforting, but safety will never teach it to fly. Likewise, your purpose will only unfold when you decide that the pulse within you matters more than your fear of the fall. This is your sacred moment to choose. Will you cling to comfort, or will you step into the sky of your calling? Now that you sense the stirring of destiny, it's time to move with deliberate intention. Release the doubts that tether you to unfulfilled longing and banish the lies that whisper your awakening is too improbable. Speak declarations over your life. I embody the pulse of my ancestry. I answer the call of prophecy within me. My destiny unfolds in divine timing. Engage practices that sustain this commitment. Daily moments of listening for the ancestral heartbeat in prayer, journaling the insights that surface, and leaning into traditions that ground you in your spiritual lineage. Surround yourself with mentors and peers who recognize the awakening within you, who challenge you to step into your inheritance, and who walk alongside you as companion sentinels of this cosmic movement. Your emergence will ignite a wave of awakening in those around you. When you step into your prophetic pulse and begin to live in alignment with your destiny, you send ripples through your community and your bloodline. Your testimony of awakening, how you emerged from isolation to carry an ancient promise, will embolden others to listen to their own inner rhythms. As you share your story, you'll discover that those you inspire become advocates for awakening in their own circles, amplifying the impact beyond what you could achieve alone. Comment Pulse if you are ready to honor the heartbeat within you and to sound it with boldness in every realm of your life. The time has come for the ancestral promise to rise in you and through you, reshaping history one pulse at a time. The sacred struggle, you've felt it in the hollow ache of solitude, the moments when the world's noise felt distant while your own questions thundered within. You've sat alone, heart pounding, wondering if the emptiness around you was a sign of weakness or a void you could never fill. You've watched others gather in groups, sharing laughter and plans, while you hesitated to join, convinced your presence would only dampen their light. In those hours, You worried that your silence meant you had nothing to offer, that your gift lay dormant, unseen, unworthy. Yet this sense of isolation was not a verdict on your potential, but the beginning of your sacred struggle, a divine forge where your character would be refined. You are not alone in this path. Many who carry a deeper calling have walked the same lonely road. Today, you will discover why those seasons of rejection and inner turmoil were not punishments, but necessary trials designed to awaken the warrior within. The weight of rejection has pressed on you like heavy chains, each link forged by moments of being overlooked, dismissed, or betrayed. You've extended your hand in friendship only to have doors closed in your face. You've offered your ideas at work, only to hear polite nods that led nowhere. You've poured your heart into prayers, unanswered for seasons that felt like lifetimes. In these raw, vulnerable hours, you wrestled with questions that seemed to have no answers. Why am I here? What is my purpose? Will I ever belong? The emotional toll of those unanswered cries painted your spirit with shadows of doubt and loneliness. You battled the fear that you were destined to remain on the periphery, watching life unfold instead of actively shaping it. Yet within that crucible of confusion and pain, a subtle transformation was taking place, preparing you for a destiny far greater than comfort ever offered. This trial by loneliness and uncertainty was never arbitrary suffering, but part of a divine curriculum, a sacred struggle ordained to prepare you for leadership and influence. Consider the little-known trial of Jehoshaphat in 2 Chronicles 20 verses 1-12, when the king faced armies that outnumbered his own and stood on the brink of defeat. Instead of rushing into battle, he declared a fast, gathered his people, and turned to worship and prayer. In the act of dependence, his perspective shifted from fear to faith, and what seemed like an insurmountable threat became the stage for divine intervention. In your own journey, every moment of inner turmoil, every season of perceived abandonment was shaping your soul into one that seeks divine wisdom before action. You were being taught not to rely on numbers, connections, or self-assurance, but on the power that arises in stillness and surrender. Even now, you can sense the first stirrings of transformation within your heart, a subtle strengthening that changes how you face challenges. Where doubt once whispered that you lacked value, you now feel the quiet assurance that your voice matters. Where fear once paralyzed you, you sense a flicker of courage urging you to step forward. In conversations, you notice yourself listening more deeply, discerning the true needs beneath the surface, and responding with empathy infused by experience. It's as if every trial left behind invisible badges of honor, granting you insights that no textbook can teach. These shifts are the first signs that your sacred struggle is yielding fruit, that your faith is no longer theoretical, but forged in the fires of real-life testing. You are emerging, refined, and ready for the next phase of your journey. Behind these changes, divine forces have been orchestrating your path, aligning invisible threads to connect you with mentors, opportunities, and revelations at precisely the right moment. Your struggles were never tests of endurance alone, but carefully arranged assignments to bring you into divine elevation. Think of the story of Huldah, a minor prophet in 2 Kings 22 verses 14-20, whose quiet life suddenly positioned her to deliver a word that reshaped a nation's destiny. Her obscurity masked her preparation. Her life of faithful obedience primed her for a breakthrough that echoed through history. In the same way, your unseen battles and silent prayers have been preparing you for moments of influence you haven't yet imagined. Synchronicities, serendipitous meetings, messages arriving when needed, unexpected doors opening, are not accidents, but signals that your spiritual allies are at work behind the scenes, orchestrating your rise. At this juncture, you may feel the last tremors of resistance, a whisper urging you to cling to old patterns of self-doubt because they feel familiar and safe. Many resist fully embracing their sacred struggle's outcome, fearing the responsibility it entails, or doubting their ability to sustain newfound strength. Yet true alignment demands that you step from the shadows of your trials into the light of your calling. Imagine a warrior trained in secret, reluctant to carry her sword into battle for fear of the enemy's gaze. Only in stepping onto the battlefield does she fulfill her purpose. Your sacred struggle has armed you with resilience, discernment, and faith that can change lives. This is your sacred moment to choose. Remain cloaked in the comfort of past pain, or emerge as the warrior destined to lead with compassion and authority. Now that you recognize the divine purpose woven through your suffering, it's time to activate the lessons learned and claim your place in the story unfolding around you. Release every doubt that suggests you are unworthy of your breakthrough, and banish the lies that equate vulnerability with weakness. Speak declarations over your life. My struggle has refined me. My faith has become my weapon. I step into service with courage. Engage practices that solidify this new identity. Dedicated times of worship and reflection to root your victories in gratitude. Intentional outreach to those who walk similar paths, and partnerships with mentors who challenge and affirm your calling. Surround yourself with a community that honors both your journey and your emerging leadership, ensuring that your steps forward are guided and supported. Your emergence from this sacred struggle will not only fulfill your personal destiny, but ignite a refinery for many who still feel crushed by their battles. When you share how your trials shaped you into a vessel of compassion and strength, you offer hope to those drowning in their own pain. Your life will stand as a testament to the truth that suffering, when embraced as sacred preparation, becomes the birthplace of purpose and power. Encourage others to lean into their struggles, to see every hardship as part of a divine curriculum designed to shape their unique destiny. Come and struggle if you acknowledge that your challenges were sacred tests, forging your readiness to lead. The world awaits the warrior you have become. Step forward, chosen one, and let your sacred struggle become the anthem of many victories. The Mirror Gate transformation. You've looked in the mirror and flinched, caught off guard by the reflection that stared back, a face marked by wounds and eyes shadowed by doubt. In those moments, you felt exposed, as if the truth of your past failures and hidden fears was laid bare for the world to judge. You wondered if confronting that reflection would shatter whatever confidence remained. You are not alone in this tension between who you've been and who you long to become. Many chosen ones have stood at this threshold, afraid to face the truths within themselves, convinced their scars would disqualify them from their destiny. Today, you will discover why that very mirror you feared is the gateway to your authentic power. Hidden within your reflection lies the anointed form you were always meant to embody, waiting to emerge once you pass through the mirror gate. Recall the nights when self-doubt whispered that your wounds defined you, and that honesty about your pain would only confirm everyone else's low expectations. You carried the weight of shame, trying to hide the parts of you that faltered under pressure, the times you let fear silence your voice, and the moments when your faith felt like a flicker rather than a flame. You wrestled with false identities, roles crafted by others' opinions or by your own misguided beliefs about who you should be. In those corridors of confusion, you longed for clarity, searching for a door that would lead you out of your own labyrinth of self-criticism. The emotional toll was heavy. Isolation, regret, and the gnawing suspicion that your true self was lost forever. Yet in that struggle, the path to revelation was already being paved. This internal battle was never a random assault on your spirit, but a divine invitation to confront the depths of your humanity and step into the fullness of your calling. Consider the story of the Ethiopian eunuch in Acts 8 verses 26 to 39. a man of status and faith barred from complete participation in worship due to his condition. When Philip encountered him reading from Isaiah, the eunuch paused at a literal road marker, his mirror gate, and sought understanding. In that moment of self-confrontation, his isolation became the threshold to revelation as he confessed his need and emerged baptized, fully embraced. Likewise, your mirror gate is the precise point where hidden fears, unspoken questions, and veiled wounds stand between survival and authentic power. Crossing it means acknowledging your shadows so that your true form can be revealed. Even now, you may sense subtle shifts as you approach this transformational threshold. You catch yourself pausing before a mirror, not to hide, but to speak gentle truths of affirmation to your reflection. Conversations that once felt like rehearsals now flow with genuine vulnerability, opening doors to deeper connection. You notice that dreams you shelved out of fear begin to resurface in your mind's eye with renewed clarity, as if your true self is calling you back. Opportunities arrive that seem tailor-made for your emerging strengths. An invitation to share your story, a project that resonates with your passion, or a mentor who sees past your facade and recognizes the gift within. These are the first tremors of change, signals that your mirror gate is preparing to swing wide. Behind these shifts, unseen hands have been orchestrating your emergence, aligning circumstances to support your crossing into authentic power. Your past struggles, once perceived as burdens, are now revealed to be training grounds for resilience and empathy. Divine synchronicities, chance encounters, timely nudges, and uncanny confirmations mark the path toward your destiny. Think of the lesser-known prophetess Noadia, who opposed Nehemiah in rebuilding Jerusalem's walls, only to play a pivotal role in testing his resolve. Nehemiah 6 verse 14. Her resistance highlighted his conviction and prepared him to lead with unwavering focus. In your own story, every obstacle you faced was part of the preparation, ensuring that when you pass through the mirror gate, you step into your purpose with unshakable faith. At this critical juncture, many hesitate, gripped by the fear that fully embracing their truth will expose vulnerabilities that others might exploit. They cling to familiar deceptions, old habits of self-protection, even when those habits limit their potential. Yet true alignment calls for full acceptance of both light and shadow, understanding that authenticity is the soil in which real power grows. Imagine a diamond forming under intense pressure. Only when the outer layers are stripped away does its brilliance shine. Your vulnerabilities, once unveiled, become facets of strength that reflect and magnify the light within you. This is your sacred moment to choose. Will you remain behind the safety of illusion, or will you bravely step through the mirror gate and claim the radiant identity that awaits? Now that you see what lies beyond the mirror gate, it's time to act with intentional courage. Release the masks you've worn to protect your hidden self, and rebuke the lies that whisper you are less than worthy. Speak life-giving affirmations into your reflection. I embrace every part of my story. My scars testify to my resilience. I step forward as the one I was created to be. Cultivate practices that reinforce this new identity. Daily times of mirror meditation where you speak truth to yourself. Journaling sessions that document breakthroughs and insights, and community circles where vulnerability is honored as strength. Surround yourself with allies who hold space for your authenticity and encourage your emergence. Your passage through the mirror gate will not only liberate you, but will light a beacon for others who stand where you once stood. Your willingness to face your shadows and claim your true form will embolden those still trapped in the maze of fear and denial. As you share the power of your transformation, you invite others to cross their own mirror gates, leading to a collective awakening that ripples through families, communities, and nations. Comment mirror if you've faced your shadows and stepped into your light, and prepare for the alignments that confirm your journey is real and destined. The time has come to stand in your full measure, chosen one. Step through, emerge radiant, and let the world witness the power of authentic brilliance. Alignments aren't accidents. You've felt it happen so many times you've stopped counting. A chance conversation that opens a door, an unexpected email delivering what you needed, a meeting that feels orchestrated down to the smallest detail. Yet whenever you pause to marvel, someone dismisses it as luck or coincidence, as if the universe simply throws these breadcrumbs your way with no deeper intention. You are not alone in sensing that there is more to these moments than randomness. In your heart, you know that each of these alignments carries a message, a cosmic wink confirming that your path is guided and purposeful. Today, you will uncover why none of those moments were accidents and how each one has been a strategic step toward your inheritance. Hidden behind every chance encounter lies the fingerprint of a divine conductor arranging the symphony of your destiny. Remember the times when you felt stranded, wondering if you'd ever find the mentor, resource, or opportunity that matched your dreams. You prayed for clarity, for just a single sign that you were on the right track. Then, as if on cue, you'd meet someone at a conference, receive a book recommendation from a stranger, or discover a job posting you didn't know existed. Each time, your spirit leapt with recognition, yet your mind struggled to connect the dots. The emotional weight of waiting, sometimes for years, left you anxious and uncertain, haunted by the fear that your moment would never come. But those orchestrated alignments were not random miracles. They were divine signals, each one carrying you closer to the fulfillment of a promise written into your soul long before you were born. These orchestrated intersections are part of a grand design that transcends human planning. Consider the story of Obadiah in 1 Kings 18 verses 3-4, a seemingly obscure figure who risked his life to hide God's prophets from Jezebel's purge. His quiet act of obedience was more than a moral stance. It was a pivot point that brought him into the confidence of King Ahab, granting him favor and influence he could never have imagined. Obadiah's alignment with divine purpose turned his perilous circumstances into a platform for impact. In your own life, every well-timed encounter has served a similar function, not merely to benefit you, but to position you for greater service, to build relationships that will become alliances, and to open doors that lead to your destiny. Your willingness to follow these divine orchestral cues will not only transform your own destiny, but will illuminate a path for others who struggle to see beyond randomness. When you share how chance encounters turned into pivotal breakthroughs, you invite others to open their eyes to the signs working around them. Your life becomes a living testament to the power of divine alignment, encouraging those lost in the maze of uncertainty to follow the guiding threads. Comment a line if you recognize the cosmic choreography at work in your journey and are ready to step boldly into your destiny. The alignments you've seen are the map. Now walk the path and claim the inheritance waiting at its end. Claiming the cosmic inheritance. You've walked a path strewn with doubts, haunted by the question of whether you're truly ready to inherit the promises whispered over your lineage. You felt the pressure of ancestral expectation, a torch passed down through generations, its flame flickering in your hands as you hesitated at the threshold of destiny. In those quiet hours, you've wrestled with the fear that your courage might fail, that the moment meant for you would slip through trembling fingers. You are not alone in this sacred hesitation. Many chosen ones have stood where you stand now, torn between retreating into safety or stepping forward into a heritage far greater than themselves. This moment, the one you've anticipated with both longing and trepidation, demands your full presence and unwavering faith. Hidden truths about the inheritance written in your soul will be revealed, confirming that the time to claim your cosmic legacy is now. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment, "I am chosen to let this message anchor in your soul." Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you to all supporting members. Your faith fuels this mission. Rise boldly, chosen one. The prophecy lives in you.